Hello, my YouTube family. I just got done filming for Bud the Tabby Cat. And as I do most things very intuitively, when I was filming, I was talking about doing a session of diamond painting on Sundays, and I had said that I had wanted to do it on, beginning like maybe around the new year. But as I was editing and as I was writing the description up, I said, let me just look at my calendar, and starting November, which we're in, today's November the 1st. um, I was like, I think I want to do it. I think I want to start it this Sunday. I think I can do this because once I make a commitment, I won't deviate from that commitment. But I'm like, it's daylight savings time, and I'm talking about winter, and I'm talking about how it's an internal season and how we, get plunged into darkness. Some of us, anyway, um, with daylight savings time. And I thought, what better time than to start this sort of like practice that I want to do with this particular painting. Now, you don't have to be a diamond painter. You don't have to have this particular painting. Work on whatever it is that you're working on. Maybe you crochet. That's something that I do in the winter. I love to crochet in the winter time. You'll see me. I walk around with all these like fingerless gloves that I make. So maybe you're crocheting, maybe you're diamond painting, maybe you're journaling, maybe you're drawing, sketching, whatever it is that you're doing. But just join us on Sunday. You can treat it as a podcast if you like. But I just, when I talk to my friends, or I listen, and I look at other channels that I enjoy diamond painting or whatever, I just think that there's such a need out there, especially since the pandemic. Like, I taught all the time. I taught yoga all the time. And since the pandemic, it kind of just changed into this like Zoom kind of a meeting. And I do my Zoom yoga practice only because I know the teachers, they were my mentors, but I was a very hands-on teacher. And so the idea of teaching yoga through a Zoom, it wasn't built for me. I like talking to my students. I like being hands-on, and I might go back to a studio. They're certainly asking me to come back to the studio that I was at, but it has changed in so many ways, including ownership, and who had owned the studio before. I just was in awe of her in so many different, categories. So I do miss my teaching, and I do miss the way that I crafted a class. And I think that with diamond painting, or anything that you engage in that is a craft, has a meditative quality to it. And I really want to be a part of something that is good news, that makes you feel good, that isn't stressing you out. That, if you're watching YouTube and there's a lot of content, forget it. I wouldn't even try and fathom how much content there is on YouTube. And I'm like a grain of sand, on a beach compared to all the content that's out there. But I want to be a part of something that is calming and relaxing. And so, as I had said in my description, if you'll meet me on Sundays, let's say about 6 p.m., and, the video will be there, okay, on a Sunday. So it's not really even, I don't even know why I'm putting a time out there. There shouldn't even be a time. It'll drop on a Sunday. And the reason why I don't want to do a live is because I don't want to be distracted by looking at my computer and answering questions and losing my train of thought. I'd rather just, you know, um, be also in a meditative state as I help you become more centered and focused and calm for when, the confetti parts of our life, rear their heads, right? So, yeah, I think that there's a lot to learn from any kind of craft that you engage in, which is why I want to pull readings from um, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, is great for, you know, bringing back or conquering or reestablishing or regaining your sense of identity when it comes to being creative. um, Elisa Maria Designs was created because in my head I had the image of Elisa Maria Designs diamond painting, Elisa Maria Designs um, clay molds, Elisa Maria Designs crochet. You know, I have so many different things that I have either taught or I engage in or I enjoy. My daily practice of the artist way of writing in a journal every morning, 3 pages in longhand is great for just siphoning off the nonsense that is on our minds every day. We get up with this same crap that we went to bed with at times. It's like being this hamster on a wheel. And, getting up a little earlier to write in a journal, and it's stream of consciousness writing. It's writing that, it doesn't make sense. It's whatever's on the top of your mind, whatever you're thinking about, and you just write that out. And it could be the same thing over and over again, that you just get that out of your head. And you'd be surprised. Do it one day. You'd be surprised how your day changes and the energy that you have because you've already put all that nonsense to rest. And it may even lead you to some kind of resolution or some kind of breakthrough. And the more you do it, the more synchronistic your life becomes, because you're making space for all that good stuff to get to you. And so that's what I want to be a part of. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling kind of heavy the past couple of days since reading and knowing about the passing of Matthew Perry. I was not a Friends fan. It wasn't my generation. I certainly enjoyed the few episodes that I saw, but I loved him so much more in Fools Rush In, and as a movie talent. I think it was The Whole Nine Yards too, with Bruce Willis, another actor that I adore. And there was just this sense of heaviness for what he conquered in his life. And I did see that interview where he had said, I want to be remembered as being the person that helped people beat their drug addiction, or that I was the helping hand that helped someone to, if they came to me and said, would you help me? I'm addicted to drugs or alcohol. And he's like, I know all I'll be known for is Friends, but I hope that I'm not. I hope that I'm known for helping. And he will be, because he wrote a beautiful book. But I don't know that he really got how many people he did help through Friends. How many, I remember coming into work and my waitresses were all Friends. And they were like, did you see the one? Did you see the one? Did you see this part? And I was kind of like that with Seinfeld. And they were just like, it's a whole new generation. And so they were always very ecstatic to talk about the latest Friends, and I would listen in on them. And for me, they're great. Every actor on that show, what a cast. I mean, just great acting. But I couldn't relate to it. It wasn't my generation, but I certainly appreciated it. And I've just been feeling like so many people, so heavy in my heart for this family and for what he went through, and what he conquered. I mean, being on an ECMO machine because his colon burst and he had so many surgeries. My brother-in-law was on an ECMO machine. He was one of the worst cases of COVID, and he was one of 10,000 cases that was heliported out to Allentown, and they had to induce a coma. He said goodbye to his family, and they put him on an ECMO, and he didn't make it. That's one step away. I mean, that's basically someone's chances are, less than zero, and they're doing everything they can to help you beat it. And he beat that. He beat that. And to be at a point in his life where he was enjoying his life, he was out and he was doing stuff, and to be in his hot tub, which he had put a post. I did follow him on Facebook where he put a post up that he was in his hot tub and he was calling himself Mat Man, like Batman, but Mat Man. And he was like, sleep safely, world. Mat Man's on the job, and but his body was just so repaired, but the damage was there, and it's just so sad. And you can feel there's a pulse on this heartache, and um there's also a coming together of like people collectively grieving this bright light, and it's because I believe we don't have that many positive. There are a lot of great positive people out there. It's that the light is never shined on them. And so I want to be a person that brings light and calmness and relaxation and joy to what it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing. And just maybe give you some food for thought, maybe something, maybe a different perspective that makes you think that you're not in this alone. No matter what it is that you're going through, there's someone else out there that is going through more than you can believe, that are going through the same thing as you. And maybe even a path that you would say, oh my gosh, what's that saying? You wouldn't trade your troubles in for anybody else's, because for as bad as you think yours are, there's someone else out there that's got it a lot worse than you do. So, I mean, not to poo-poo or dismay anything that you're going through, but just know that there's an inner strength in you. And I think that we're bombarded so much with all this stuff, and that's what it is. It's just stuff, at least confetti. We make beauty out of the chaos, but when it's life, and when you have the tools that you could stand in your center and just let everything be chaotic around you, and you just know how to hold your center, that's what I want for you. That's what I want. It's such a relief. It's such, and then people look at you differently. They're like, what's different about you? You got a boyfriend or something? They don't know what to make of it. Did you hit the lottery? What is it? But you're just so, you have the tools. Your cup is full, right? It's not empty, because we run around empty. How often? I mean, think about it right now. It's I keep saying it's Monday because my husband was home yesterday. But I mean, think about how sometimes you're just like on empty, and you don't have the patience, and you don't have you're reactive instead of being responding. So hopefully by this little once a week get together that we have on a Sunday, where I'll be able to read your comments, and you'll be able to send me messages again. Like I said, I'm at Elisa Marie Designs on Instagram. I'm at Elisa Marie Designs on Facebook. You can send me messages there privately if you want. It doesn't have to be public. I certainly understand that. And I promise you, I will find a way to weave in whatever it is that you're going through without anybody else knowing. Okay? So I'm very excited about this. This is something that I've wanted to do, I think, since my little Yorkie died, and that companionship left a big hole in my heart, which is why I one day said, as I was diamond painting and I was realizing the impact that it was having on my life, not like crocheting, not like anything else I had experienced. I draw, I paint, I have a lot of I card make, I do paper arts, but not like, I don't know what the formula is. And people say, well, you pick this up and you stick it down, and no, it's more deliberate than that. It's not that. It's not that that's what it is. It's more deliberate than that. Your each movement that you make is deliberate. And I don't know what it was, but I was like, I need to talk about this. And I don't know anybody else. Philadelphia is 90 minutes away from New York City, and I lived in both cities, and New York City is just a cornucopia of arts, and is like here in Philly. oy vey. I mean, there's one school here, and I remember standing in the rain and the snow with my kid because, I wanted to get him into the program where he was able to take some art for free because, the kid had a natural talent. I drove him nuts, but, you know, I stood in the rain and the snow to get him into Fleischer's because he had homework one day and he had to draw a boat. So, like, how do you draw a boat in first grade? You make a little banana and you make a little sail. My son drew like tall ships. And I was like, oh my God, he's an artist. I got to get him into this school. And, he resented me, something awful for it. He's like, I don't tell you anything that I enjoy because right away you're signing me up for classes. And I'm like, oh, okay, the plight of motherhood. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And so he tried to screw that up. And so instead of drawing what he was supposed to draw in art class, you know what he did? He looked out the window and he drew the skyline. And you know what happened? He got a showing over at the school. They were like, we're putting your son's artwork up. But I don't even know why I digressed to that. But there's just so little for us out here. Believe it or not, the city of brotherly love, they'll tell you that there is, but it's like not like in New York, I guess. There's always something in your backyard, or you could you get your Metro card and in 5 minutes you're in another borough taking a class, or I mean, you want to learn dance, you go to Broadway and you could go walk into any dance class, pay a fee, and you start dancing. You could be tap dancing with the members of chorus line. I mean, that's how exciting it is. And so there's not much excitement here in Philadelphia. I'm sorry. I'm born and raised here. And I never, I told a story once when I was a kid, and my dad said to me, do you want to make a dime or a nickel? And I was like, yeah. He said, okay, well, go to the corner store and go get me a newspaper. And I ran. He gave me a quarter. And I ran to the corner store to go get a newspaper because I thought the instructions were in there of how to make a nickel. That's how starved I was to do something artistic. And when I came back from the store and I gave him the change, he gave me a nickel. And I was like, what's this? He's like, well, you made a nickel? I'm like, no, I want to know how to make a nickel. And he was like, you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And he's like, oh my God, Elisa, please. But, it was like, even my mom, she was taking ceramics and stuff. I was like, how do you do that? But it wasn't for kids, I mean, so when camp came around, boy, I was packed, loaded, and ready to go. I was just like, that was like my introduction into art because I went to a Catholic school and we just didn't have, any kind of theater or what do they call it, drama club or music club. None of that happened in Catholic school at all. So it was, I was deprived. I was starved as a kid for this attention. And it's so important. It's so important. So it doesn't matter, how old you are now. I mean, I engage in everything that gets my attention. And I will tell you, and this was something that I learned from one of my other teachers. She said to me, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. I want to do everything. And she's like, good, do everything. Because one day all of this is going to come full circle. And you're going to pull from all the experiences, all the everythings, and it's all going to come full circle. And it has in a few times in my life, no matter what I was doing. All the experiences that I had came full circle, and hopefully we'll talk about that. But I really want this time that we spend together on a Sunday to be a calming practice for you, with some calming music, some inspirational readings that lift your spirits, that I just feel like there's so much that we need to chew on that we don't get unless, you have a practice, you have a faith that you engage in on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But I just feel like we need to hear and see good things in our world. And that's what I want to be a part of. And that's what I want my channel to be about. Most of the time. Most of the time I'm having a breakdown or I'm laughing hysterically over something, but putting all that aside and just 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 feeling good, just feeling calm, just feeling centered, just feeling strong, just feeling like you got a place to go, and hopefully that this I'm putting it out there. I'm visualizing a community where we just love and support one another. So I've been calling you guys family for a while now. Don't think I haven't noticed. So I'll see you Sunday, November the 5th, daylight savings time. And I think I'm going to drop the video at like 12:01 a.m. Eastern time Sunday. So you can watch it anytime that you want. I'm over here making a time like it's going to be alive. No, from 12:01 on Sunday morning, it will be there for you, and anytime you want. Okay, fam? Welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you're back, but you're all family. Create the world you want to live in. That's what I'm doing. Creating the world that I want to live in for myself and for you. Okay. Bye, fam.